You're listening to the OMG Hour.
Welcome, everybody, to episode number 296 of the OMG Hour. And Jeff is going crazy. I don't know why, but I am Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane, and today is May 17th, 2018. Jeff,
morning.
What is...
evening. Nothing's happening. I'm at 2% power, and I'm not charging for some reason. So I'm just trying to move... Oh, my gosh. Yes.
Introduce yourself,
I'll be back
then.
in 10 seconds. I'm Jeff. You can follow me on Twitter at ZionTane.
That's Jeff. That's Jeff over there, folks.
This is what happens when Jeff goes away for a week.
He forgets how to podcast. I'm Tico, Mr. Second Place.
Hello, Chico.
Here beside Jeff's giant hand.
And now we've lost him. Oh, this is a train wreck right from the beginning. But let's move on. Welcome to episode
power through
296. I don't know what's going on. I'm sure Jeff will be back in a moment. But for now...
I'll lean it in. Hey, I'm Jeff. I played Destiny.
Yeah,
Hi, I'm over here. All right.
Perfect.
There we
Excellent.
go. We got Jeff's done. Oh, look, I'll do Jeff's part. I'll do my part. And we're good.
Good.
And then...
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is the train wreck episode. It's a good thing we're approaching 300 quickly. And, So, tell us, Tico, did you play games?
I did. I played some games.
All right. I actually played two games that you also played.
Both played some of the same games. So let's talk about those.
Let's talk about the oldest game in the list. And it's from 2011. And I'm sure we both played it only because its sequel was just announced. Of course, we're talking about Rage.
We both played this because the sequel was just accidentally leaked and got us our interest peaked, and we played it before the actual announcement.
That's right. So of course, we're talking about Rage. It is compatible with Xbox One. So I installed it, started playing. I had forgotten, Tico, that this thing was 3 discs long. This game.
Yeah. When I popped open the thing, I'm like, okay, I'm going to install it. I'm like, wow.
There's 3 discs.
There's a lot of discs in here. And you only have to install the first disc, so it knows that you own one of the discs.
Right.
So, I mean, technically, if you have 2 other friends and you want to play with them, give them each a disc.
Yeah, but it might only work with the first disc. Who knows?
That I don't know.
Right.
That I don't know.
Now, I am surprised how well Rage actually holds up.
It still looks good. Like, I popped it, I'm like, okay, and, you know, it's obviously a little enhanced with the Xbox One X for me.
I'm playing on the Xbox One launch, and I was surprised how good it still looks, you know.
They did a good job with their shading and with the environments and stuff like that. I'm happy to be back in and playing this again.
Well, here's what stuck that kind of stood out for me about this is, you know, we tried to go back and we played Red Dead Redemption, you know, on our Xbox One, and it didn't hold up for me. The controls felt weird. It didn't hold up to what I would consider today's standards of control. Yeah, Rage does though. Like, the controls are smooth. They're perfect. This just like you just jump in and play, and everything makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't have to relearn anything. Didn't feel like I was missing out.
Not at all. I mean, a couple things like pressing the right bumper to switch weapons. I had forgotten about that. That's a little bit strange because nowadays it's like on the Y button you press to switch weapons. That seems to be a standard. But it brings up a weapon wheel, so the bumpers have always been sort of your location for weapon wheels. So I guess that makes sense. But I had forgotten how smooth this game was. It still plays really smooth, and I was actually quite enjoying it. I remember why I enjoyed this game so much, because it's really good. It's an open world, you know, shooter with car combat.
Well, it's not so much open world as it's open world elements.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, you're still very much just going from one location to another, but you have to drive in between those locations. Sort of like Borderlands. You know what I felt was, this is very Borderlands-esque. Like,
yeah, you go into an area. It's like, okay, go in here, and you're going to start this mission, and then it's almost like a linear little mission that you go and run through.
Yeah, when you're in the buildings, it's totally linear. Yeah, absolutely. But when you're out in the world, but even the beginning, like you're brought into this this gas station area that is very much like the first Borderlands.
It feels like with the dune buggies and everything like that. The voice too, John Goodman, I think, did the voice.
Goodman, right off the bat.
That threw me off right off the bat because we're watching the new season of Roseanne.
Yep.
And it's like, yeah, this guy's everywhere all of a sudden.
Exactly. Yeah. And now we're listening to him, and I forgot he was in Rage. But you know what? I really, really enjoyed Rage when I played it back in 2011. I looked at my achievements. I finished this game in the course of 15 days. It was October 2nd I started playing, and October 16th I got the completed achievement.
See, now I've never finished this game. Oddly enough, I have no idea why. I'm not sure the exact reason why, but I've never finished it. So it gives me an opportunity to hop back in. And I don't know. Oh. I can't remember. It does not. I'm not remembering at all why.
Well, you should.
But now I'm
now you should finish it.
I'm going to. So I'm working on it.
Yeah. So that's Rage, and I think it really holds up. Like honestly, I was really surprised how much this holds up. Not just in how it controls, but even how it looks. It's not a bad looking game for being 7 years old now.
Yeah.
You know?
So if you've got it, still toss it in the system. I did look it up to see what it would cost if somebody did want to get it now. So it's 19 Canadian.
Oh, that's not bad.
If you wanted to buy, you can buy a digital version of this. For $19, I'm sure you could probably find a used copy for cheaper at EB or something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely worth playing if you haven't. It is definitely a fun game.
Yeah.
You need to move over because you're not Jeff. You're Tico. There you go. There you go. Perfect.
This is awkward.
I don't know what's going on with Jeff today, folks. I do apologize. Let's move on.
All right.
Descenders. We played Descenders. This is a game that is in Xbox One game preview.
Yes.
It's basically a procedurally generated downhill bicycle racing.
Dirt bike. Yeah.
Dirt bike. Not like bicycle, though. BMX, really, right?
Yeah, that's what a dirt bike is, isn't it? Oh, I know. I guess you could have the
dirt bikes is motorized.
Yeah, BMX then. BMX sort of thing.
And you follow the trail. It's randomly generated, and you are given randomly generated goals for that particular race. The race lasts like a minute to a minute and a half. And you do tricks. There's a lot of jumps. There's forest you can drive through. It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's great.
It's kind of fun. It doesn't look good for being on a next-gen console. It does not look very good at all. It doesn't control great either.
No, the controls are very, very sensitive, I find. Like, it's so easy to make the wrong, or make too big of a turn, and just go completely off the tracks, or hit a tree.
Yeah, I've hit many a trees. I've landed on my head. I've hit the side of those jumps, and you slide down and fall off a lot.
Yep. Also, so you have health, and that is basically every time you crash, you lose a health. And then if you have to try to get through this whole mountain of races without dying, without losing your health. Which so far I think I've gotten through like maybe 3 before dying. Tico, how far have you got?
I got through 5 areas, and I didn't understand what would happen, so I kind of died not on purpose, but I was very reckless going down because I didn't know what this health. They kept saying like you're, in danger. I didn't know what that meant, and it kills you. But I did sign a contract with one of the.
Actually, I did too. Now this is in game preview, so there's definitely glitches in it, and you're going to see an amazing glitch for those watching the video. Of me watch this glitch. This is an amazing glitch. Oh, that's not it.
Nope.
Okay, it's got to be coming up soon. So these flags at the side of the track, they're literally like, imagine a material flag. So you're thinking, oh, if I hit the flag, I'm just gonna go through
crash.
It, and well, no, I didn't think I'd crash if I hit a flag.
Oh, I assumed that if I hit a flag, you'd crash, you'd fall to the ground, you'd have to hit your respawn.
No, this is what happens. No, you get stuck in the flag. I was just hanging in the flag, not even moving. Like that. That's amazing. That was amazing. I loved it. Yeah. I actually sat there staring at it for a good 20 seconds before I decided to just record the whole thing.
They may remove that from the final build. Who knows?
I just don't. I don't see how, you know, a flag should stop me, because I should just, I don't know.
All right, we're going to have to do some real-world tests. Let's set up some real flags and jump at them and see what happens.
No, I don't want to ride my bike this fast. I would be crashing. Oh, and so for those of you listening to the podcast, Jeff was here for about a minute, and now he's gone again. So,
in and out we get with Jeff today.
Yeah.
Oh, that was probably me hitting the tree.
That was you hitting the tree.
He finally got back in and his battery has died.
Oh, okay. Let's we're going to try to do this show as much as we can without Jeff.
With and without Jeff. All right.
Oh my gosh.
So what next?
All right. Why don't you talk to us about Wizard of Legend? What is this Wizard of Legend?
Wizard of Legend. You play a Wizard of Legend. So it is a those top-down ones. What is that called?
Isometric?
It's not like Diablo, but it's not like Diablo. But it's so you play a wizard, and as you're going through these generated levels to try to take out all the bad guys and get. I'm terrible at this, by the way.
Oh, it's procedurally generated?
It is procedurally generated, so it's a different map every time you go into one of these things, and you have to go through. I'm guessing and clear out all of the bad guys.
It's a 16-bit game, for one thing.
Yeah. So you play a wizard, and you get different powers as you. So right now, I'm using this as a water-powered basic attack. And then you get your secondary attack, which I believe I'm using a lightning attack for my secondary attack, and then a mega attack, which is a giant fireball right now. But you have all of the different elements, and you level them up. So it's actually really cool the way you do that. So as you die, because I die a lot in this.
It is definitely Diablo-esque.
Yeah, it's sort of top-down. So I'm an explorer. You're sort of a dungeon explorer. You have a dash, which you can jump across and say, hey, and Jeff is back. Sort of. His head is back. And so it's like a dungeon explorer thing, and so you have to get from. I believe you have to kill all the enemies. I have yet to manage to kill all the enemies in one of these. I keep dying, but you get to keep your progress and stuff like that. And Jeff's gone again. He's popping in and making a face every once in a while, and then going away again for the audio listeners. That is.
Oh my gosh, this is a disaster tonight. I'm sorry. Anyway, keep going about Wizard.
So, I'm actually really enjoying the concept of the game, and as I'm earning more powers and stuff like that and leveling them up, I seem to be getting further and further into the levels, which is good. So it's sort of like as you die, you can pop back in and out. It's hard to talk through the beeping in and out like that, but yeah. So I am quite enjoying this. Trying out the different elemental powers and stuff that you can get. It's an interesting game. You have when you die, you go back to your home base, and you have like a talking wardrobe to change your clothes in. You have a talking flying spell book. So it's almost like sort of a darker version of Harry Potter.
Oh, it's actually kind of cool. I mean, it's now this is on Xbox. You're playing this on?
Yes. Yeah.
Is this available on other systems?
I believe this is also available on Steam, PlayStation, and Switch.
This would be a great game for Switch, honestly.
Yeah.
This looks really cool.
Yeah.
Even though it's a 16-bit game and it's really not up my alley, but the gameplay
I think they've added
looks
an extra
good.
bit in there. I think it's at least 17.
It could be 17 bits. Maybe that's what's attracting me to it. The 17 bits.
It's not.
And just and it's a good thing Jeff's not here to tell us that there's no such thing as 17 bits, right? Right, Jeff? Exactly. Oh. Yeah. See, yeah. Jeff agrees. This looks good. I mean, imagine a 16-bit Diablo.
I think I'm about to die here, so you'll see what happens when I die for the people who are watching. Oh no, I didn't die. That's
you die. Weird. I'm sure you die. Now you said but it's procedurally generated. So how far can you get, or how far do you get? Do you have to restart the whole game?
You have to restart. I think once you I haven't passed a full level yet, so I believe once you've passed a full level, you can start on level 2. And as you can see, you can buy some power-ups. Like there's a Phoenix down that you can buy that'll redo all your health. There's a bunch of different they call relics that you can put into your thing that will allow you to go back through and get a little bit further each time. So you're improving yourself every time you go. It's just cool. I'm bad at games.
Cool. So, for those of you listening to the audio podcast, I apologize for all the blips and bloops. That is Jeff trying to connect and then being disconnected immediately upon getting connected. So, we don't know what's going on. He may never be back tonight. We don't know.
Yeah, in and out. This is the episode where Jeff is sort of here.
Exactly. Okay. I'm going to move on then, and I'm going to talk about a game that is coming out. I believe it's available
22nd.
Tomorrow for those who pre-ordered.
18th?
For those who pre-ordered, they get it ahead of time. I think 5 days.
Okay.
This is State of Decay 2. So I was fortunate enough to get an advanced copy of it from Microsoft, and I played through it for a while, and I'm going to be right up front. I am not overly impressed with State of Decay 2. I mean, I really enjoyed the first one for a time. It wasn't a game that really made me stick with it. It just got kind of tedious after a while. You know, I think you felt the same way about the first one, didn't you?
Yeah, I remember. I'm a fan of zombie games.
Yeah,
I am a fan of zombie games, but I just did not feel like because you're switching characters so often. You're not connecting with any one character. I think that's part of the big problem.
Trying to manage all these different characters and all their different abilities and keep them alive, and it was too much management and not enough just adventure. You know?
Yeah.
And then a person gets tired and they can't do anything, and I don't know, but what I felt playing through State of Decay 2 was, I mean, sure, there's a visual upgrade, although, in my opinion, and again, keep in mind, I'm playing on an original Xbox One. I don't have an S, I don't have an X. First of all, there's a ton of glitches. You know, in this video we're watching alone, there are a zombie walked right through a fence.
Zombies can do that, just so you know.
Apparently,
zombies can do that.
And I was sneaking up behind another zombie, because you can take them out in stealth. And as I'm sneaking up behind it, it went from a standing position to just suddenly lying on the ground. Just
again, instantly. They do that too.
Instantly.
Yeah. Zombies get tired very fast.
And they just fall.
They have super speed when it comes to lying down.
The other thing I've found is a lot of clipping issues. You know, like you get stuck behind something, you're trying to hit a zombie, but you're stuck on something, so you're not actually hitting it. Yeah. You know, I had that issue. Your AI character, I'm trying to open the gate. The AI character opens it, and then it registers my open command, so it closes the gate. So, like, oh, thanks.
Oh, they got time. They got time to fix that, though. They got plenty of time to fix that.
Like what? One day. This is with a patch too.
Yeah.
Yes, that was Jeff connecting and disconnecting again. But so I'm not super impressed with the game as a whole. I don't feel like I was expecting State of Decay 2 to be sort of like a reinvention of the game, almost like like a refinement of the original. And what I'm finding is it's just more of exactly the same thing we got in the first game,
with a prettier skin.
It's just a bit better looking. And I wouldn't even say it's super good looking, at least not from what I was seeing. And that could very well be because it's playing on an original Xbox One. I don't know if they've scaled back the graphics because of my machine. But come on, I mean, the Xbox One should be able to render good-looking graphics. You know, you shouldn't have to scale them back too much.
So I'll be playing this on the 22nd when it comes out in Game Pass. But I think that this is one of the problems that you're going to see with these games from Microsoft that are part of their Game Passing is what's the quality going to be like on games that they know a lot of people they're just going to be giving away as part of the Game Pass. How much effort do they put into making sure these games work and stuff like that, as opposed to,
well, they're not giving it away.
It's part of Game Pass.
Yes.
So they're using this so people will justify their $14.99 Game Pass purchase.
Yes. I agree. I understand what you're saying. I still wouldn't call it giving it away by any means. I mean, Undead Labs still needs to make money off this thing.
Yeah, I don't mean giving away, but my concern with these games, and again, we've seen 2 of them so far that were sort of the flagship to this Game Pass first party included with Game Pass thing, and so far we've seen a number of glitches at launch with both of them.
Yeah.
And the quality of the actual game, has suffered, and is that part and parcel because it is a game that's not being sold as a full retail. I know it's being sold as a full retail game, but it's not being really touted as, hey, spend $79 on me, I'm worth it. It's being touted as, hey, pay $14.99 for Game Pass and you can try me out. Yeah,
you definitely, because we did talk about that a couple of months ago. Is somebody online I saw brought up the question of, does the game, by putting first party games onto Game Pass, does it diminish the value of that game in people's eyes? And I think it does. I mean, if I want to play State of Decay, even for a month, I'd rather just go pay $15 than buying it outright for $80. Right. And then I've got access to it for a month, and if I'm done, I don't renew it. Okay, no problem. Maybe I feel like playing it again. I pay another $15, right?
And you're still, now you've only paid $30, half the price of what it is. And that's assuming that it's not going to drop to a $10 or $20 title at some point anyways. I mean, State of Decay 1 Game of the Year edition, I believe, was on sale for $5 at one point just recently.
I mean, overall, State of Decay 2 just feels like more of State of Decay 1. And if that was your thing, if you loved it and couldn't stop playing, then that's going to be right up your alley. But for someone like myself who honestly got really bored with State of Decay after maybe 10 hours or so, State of Decay 2 is not going to hold you over because, there's more zombies, there's new zombies, there's, stuff like that. It's literally the same game, though. You have to build bases, you have to manage people, you have to keep them alive, you have to switch between different people, and then it's just, fetch quests all the time, right?
Yeah.
So it's... I don't know. It's just not that great. I was kind of bored almost from the beginning from State of Decay 2 because it really wasn't. It wasn't what I expected from a next-gen upgrade to one of the best games of the previous gen.
Well, listen, I'm going to play the final version of it next week. The good version. I'll give you my opinion next week. That's what everybody's really waiting for on a zombie game anyways, is just to hear what I think of it. And to hear Jeff groan when I talk about that.
When you talk about zombies?
Yeah, we'll have to make sure Jeff gets all of his technical glitches fixed so I can talk about a zombie game.
Yeah, well, can you make sure you get sports next week too?
Sports and zombies?
Yes.
Done. Just nothing but sports and zombies next week. Zombie sports.
All right. Well, since Jeff's not here to talk about Destiny 2, because he played it, you played the DLC. Oh, first of all, let's shout out to Larry, who's watching us right now. Hey, Larry.
Hey, Larry.
Larry says that he thinks Game Pass is simply an extension of the subscription-based revenue stream, which, of course, it is. Microsoft's doing that to increase their monthly average users, and they're chasing that recurring revenue. He also says zombies. I can't even speak. Zombies are oversaturated. I completely agree, Larry.
What?
I honestly thought zombies would have died years ago. Like the zombie gaming, I thought should have died a few years ago, but it just seems to be never ending.
What do you want? Vampires? You want another vampire game?
Well, there's one coming.
I know there's one coming.
I know. I'm looking forward to it, actually.
It actually does look pretty good. So maybe we'll do like a whole, zombies and vampires. See if there's a werewolf game out there we can play as well.
Excellent. All right.
We'll find something.
So, Brian is also here. Brian, welcome, Brian. He just logged in. What did you miss, Brian? You missed Jeff trying to connect 100 times.
Yeah, Jeff has worse connection than you do right now,
Jeff's
Brian.
not here. Anyway.
As you can see, that's why I'm in both spots, Brian. I'm in both spots because of that.
Okay, so Shadow of War got another DLC pack.
Yes.
I didn't even know existed, but it's called Desolation of Mordor. Tell us about this, because you played it.
So you play as Baranor?
Sounds familiar.
Baranor. So he is. This is sort of set up before the siege at the end of the game.
So again, do you have to play the original to play this? Does it give things away?
No, not really.
Not the original. Sorry, the main game.
Yeah, no, it doesn't really give much away. I mean, he's a character in it, and he's been tasked with sorting out your army. So he goes to this area, which is a big sort of desert type area. So it's very, sandy and stuff like that. One of the new main enemies that you come across are these giant tremors-like sandworms.
Okay.
Which are kind of cool. So it's another enemy that you have to be careful of in the open areas. But in addition to that, you can use them by shooting the sand mounds with your you've got like a wrist bow thing, like a wrist bolt shooter.
So instead of a bow and arrow, you have a wrist bolt. I also noticed in your video he has like a grappling hook or something.
Yes. So he is Spider-Man.
That's just so cool.
Yeah, so they've changed up the mechanics. So the couple of things. So this is played based on a high score thing. Your character does not have a wraith with him. Baranor does not have a wraith. So he is, of the main characters that you can play in the game so far, he can die. He doesn't respawn at a tower. So your game is a one playthrough game.
Oh, are you serious?
If you die, back to the beginning.
This is a roguelike then.
This is a roguelite, yeah.
Oh, come on. That's terrible.
So I do like the idea of it because it's not like you can heal very quickly and stuff like that. You can get out of combat. You just have to be cautious that you don't overextend yourself because if you die, you die. There's no regeneration.
That's terrible.
So you think it is terrible, but it actually makes you a little bit more cautious about the encounters that you get yourself into.
Okay.
So I actually don't mind the mechanic. But yeah, he has a couple of cool gadgets. He has, again, a wrist bolt shooter instead of the bow and arrow. He has the Spider-Man grappling hook, which is given to him, by the way, by Torvin.
I don't know who Torvin is.
He's the dwarf from the DLC from the first game.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So he finds him one of the first things he does is he meets up with him and he gives him a crossbow. So the crossbow and the grappling hook. So you use that to get up to climb up the mountains and stuff like that and onto buildings and to sneak. But you do have to do a lot more stealth than you would as in the main game because you can die pretty easily if you get overwhelmed. Okay. So and then you also have a glider parachute, so you can jump off a high thing and sort of glide around the map as well.
Yeah, it's cool. I still haven't finished the main game, so I'll probably never get to this. But it's also roguelite, and I'm not. I don't think I'd enjoy that. Although he looks like he can fly pretty far away.
Yeah, he can get a decent pull from that grappling hook. It is pretty fun actually. That's
cool.
So I'm enjoying it. I don't like the idea that if you die, you're done. I wish there was some like checkpoints or something like that. Because if you're going through a story, but it does accumulate your high score as you're going through the game.
Cool.
So no, it's fun. I like it.
All right. Well, I think that's it for the games we played. Just looking at our list, I think we've covered everything, which is good.
Yeah.
So now we can move on to the news for this week. So we'll be back right after this.
OMG.
That was a really quick interlude.
Wow, okay. I was looking at my phone. I thought we'd have more time. No
time. So, of course, one thing I forgot to show off at the beginning, you've been looking at it here on my desk. Last week I showed that big, huge box of the Mega Bloks Enterprise. Of course, I built it. It took me 5 days to build. This is...
Drop it.
This is a beast. This thing is massive. Like, look at the size of this thing. I'm going to lift it right up here for you. Look at... It is huge.
It is really cool.
And it is a gorgeous, gorgeous model. Like,
right.
Seriously.
How many monies was that?
It was $100.
$100. All right, I'll take one.
And the nacelles light up. It is so cool.
I'll take one. Where do I get it?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Amazon.com. I'm gonna hope I don't knock it over here. But anyway, that's yeah. I was really, really happy. It was fun to build, and the missing piece I talked about last week wasn't missing after all. It was already in a bucket. I had of 1x6s underneath all of them. So it was just really
not.
It was
truly missing.
No, but it was in a place I didn't expect it to be.
So here's what I think happened. I think the people from Mega Bloks saw our show, snuck into your house, and snuck that piece in there just so you'd have to apologize.
Well, funny thing is, the piece I ordered arrived today.
Oh, so, was it the right piece? Was
it
the right piece?
It is the right piece. The piece that was I was quote unquote missing. Okay, so we talked about Rage earlier. Of course, Rage 2 has been announced. We talked last week about Walmart had leaked Rage 2, and they made a big joke out of the whole thing. And it was like just a couple of days later that they actually officially announced it and showed a teaser trailer for it. Mentioned it's going to be a hugely open world game, big endeavor, and yeah, I am totally looking forward to this game. Absolutely,
it looks really good. I'm excited. I love the way they released a whole bunch of random images on their Twitter that had the date May 14th. Littered in it, if you looked closely enough, and then we got on May 14th, we got that trailer. So I like the way that they're handling their social media. It's pretty cool. The game looks great. I think it's a 2019 release.
Well, at this
second quarter 2019 is I think what
spring 2019.
Yeah.
So just under a year. But I mean, who knows? It could be delayed. Now they have come out and said that it will not have loot boxes. I love this article, and because it talks about the title will not feature loot boxes, commenting sarcastically that it has a novel approach where players can buy the game and play it.
So, I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like that concept of just buying the game and playing it. How will I get better without spending a whole bunch of my real money to get better at games?
Who knows? Who knows? You're gonna. I don't know, man. You want
to spend?
Maybe I
can pay.
I'll tell you
somebody
what.
to come over and play the game for me.
You pay me for loot box stuff.
All right.
And I'll tell you you're better at the game now.
I'll take it.
Excellent. Good. Rage 2, I'm looking forward to. I've said it already. I loved the first one. I didn't expect this at all, though, to be honest with you. This was like a game that I thought, it didn't do well, and I thought we're never going to see it again. This
IP, you're sort of led to believe this IP is dead. We're not going to do anything with it, I'm glad that it's not, because it was a great story. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a fun game. I said last week I thought the game ended suddenly, like it was all of a sudden it was over, which I didn't expect. But the one thing they haven't said what exactly the new game is. They haven't shown gameplay. It was just a teaser that it's coming. But they did show actually some gameplay footage in the teaser, but it looked like a lot of people playing. I don't know if this is an online sort of like a Battlefield.
Is it an open world? Is it a battle royale?
It is open world, but there's no say on whether there's going to be a campaign. Is it a PvP only? Is it like a Battlefield sort of thing? Because the scenes they showed like dozens and dozens of players versus players. Whether it's I'm going to say characters versus characters. So I don't know if that was like a Battlefield scenario, like a battle royale, like what's the big thing now, right?
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I'm less excited.
Yeah, I want the same thing we played before,
only
more
better.
Story and better. Yeah.
Yes, like
do that.
Next gen-y,
Yeah.
Current gen. But yeah, I want to play more Rage.
Yes.
I find it funny, though, that John Carmack had to apologize for the game, which I never quite understood what he's apologizing for. What was wrong with the game? I don't get it. I never understood what the problem was with the game. But he had to apologize for this game. But 7 years later, they're going to make another one anyway. Like, something just seems weird here.
Sometimes when a game isn't received the way people want, they feel, look at if it didn't do well. I mean, if he's apologizing, maybe he's apologizing to the fan base that he feels he let down if it didn't do well.
But what fan base? Because it was a new IP.
But it was something that people had been. It's a new IP, but it was one that they sort of got people hyped for. So if it didn't live up to the expectations, it's possible that he maybe felt he needed to apologize. I don't think he needed to apologize. I enjoyed the first game, quite a bit.
Agreed. Totally agree. Okay.
Well, speaking of loot boxes.
Yes. Battlefield 5 has officially been confirmed by EA. This is just new announcements this week. I'm not a Battlefield fan. Do you play Battlefield at all? You played Battlefield 1, didn't you?
I played a bit of it. I am not very good at it. I be honest with you, I not really enjoying it at all.
So Battlefield 5. So this is funny. They went from Battlefield 4 to Battlefield 1. Now they're going to Battlefield 5, and the rumor is at this point it's going to be in World War II. Of course, Battlefield 1 being in World War 1. This is going to World War 2. I am so done with World War II. I've never enjoyed the World War environments in any game. But I mean, the games aren't for me, so I'm not one to complain. I can't complain about it.
I don't mind it. Just it depends on how many times they've gone to that well, though. Too it is. Yeah, I'll agree. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm getting anything new from this. And again, this will most likely have a battle royale mode or something like that. Attached to it.
Everything's got battle royale these days. I mean, even Call of Duty Black Ops 4 just announced today. They did a whole thing about it online. They basically revealed the whole game. No single player, which we've said previously, and a battle royale mode for sure. So they're definitely getting in on the battle royale. Now here's a depressing one. Although I have to say, I don't think we're surprised.
No.
Ubisoft has delayed Skull and Bones until, get this, at least 2019.
So that could mean further.
It could be. I saw in some articles where it said 2019/2020. So, although they are still going to showcase it and show a little bit more about it at E3 this year.
Maybe that'll give us an idea of why it's being delayed, of maybe what they're adding to the game, what they're hoping to see happen with it, which is why it might be being delayed.
Well, it's Ubisoft. Ubisoft always delays. That's the nice thing about Ubisoft is they don't have to release things when they say. They have control over it. They are the publisher. So they won't release a game until they're sure it's polished. Make sure that it is the best it can be when they launch it.
And I'll be honest with you, their track record has been pretty good.
With that, once they started doing that, yes, their track record's been good. We've seen, Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed Unity.
Unity was the
there were problems.
Was really broken.
Yes, there were problems.
And I think that they took that the reaction to that seriously, and they're not going to release something that's maybe not going to be ready for public consumption.
Exactly. And I'm good with that. I mean, I want this game.
Yeah. I want to play this.
Yes. After playing Sea of Thieves,
I want to play it working. I want to play it working.
Exactly. I look at Skull and Bones as the Sea of Thieves that I want to play.
Yeah.
I love the naval combat in the Assassin's Creed games. I thought it was brilliantly done. And to take a game around that one piece of Assassin's Creed and make a full game out of it is brilliant. Like, it was already fun to play. Now they're taking it and refining it and making a full-on game.
What they're going to announce is that it's now going to be a battle royale ship thing where it's
50
like
ships.
Yeah. Just one versus 100. It's just but it's a small map though, so it's like all of them are like right beside each other.
Now, is Thanos gonna come down and be on a ship too?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, he can show up in any game he wants. He has the Reality Stone. He can show up wherever he feels.
That's true. That's true. I mean, he maybe he'll join Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
He could.
Of course he can.
I just said he could. I'm allowing it.
Excellent. Okay, more bad news. And honestly, okay, so first, one, it doesn't surprise me. Second, it totally surprised me because it kind of came out of the blue.
Yeah.
But LawBreakers and Radical Heights dev, Boss Key, which is Cliff Bleszinski's company, has shut down.
They are done.
It was so sudden.
Yeah.
Like, there was no warning. There was not just all of a sudden, boom,
and
Cliff says, we're done.
Several weeks after announcing Radical Heights and
which was a work in progress.
Yeah.
Right? You have to remember that Radical Heights was a work in progress. For some reason, our links in our show notes are not going anywhere anymore. It looks like IGN has moved their articles. I will have to fix those for the show notes. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised based on, obviously LawBreakers didn't do well. Radical Heights just looked terrible and was reviewing terribly.
Torn up in the reviews too. Oh, absolutely torn up.
Yeah. But it was also an alpha build. Like, PS, people were tearing it up, but it was also very early in its development.
Yeah, but they did put it out there. They put it out there to be reviewed, to be looked at, and knowing, hey, listen, if we put this out there, this is going to represent what people think of our game. So they had that's what they put out there for people to review. I mean, maybe it would have gotten better, but obviously, it won't get better at this point because they've decided they're not doing it anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm really surprised that Cliff gave up on it.
Well, he
doesn't seem to be someone who would just give up.
But give up on it and ran out of money are two different things. And that could be what this is. This could be a financial decision. They may not have had the money to continue to put into this where they weren't seeing early sales, the alpha sales, preview sales that they wanted to see. They weren't getting the influx of money that they were hoping to get come in from announcing this and putting this out for preview.
Right.
Obviously, they didn't get the numbers they were hoping for, and I'm guessing that this was a financial decision. Because he's clearly a passionate individual when it comes to games and the stuff that he's creating. So I imagine if he had unlimited resources that we would have seen Boss Key continue on for years to come, and they would have tweaked and continued putting out games. But if you're not making the money, then you can't continue.
Yeah. I kind of wonder what he's doing now. I think he said he's going to take some time off.
Yeah.
Now, you had said something. Do you remember what you had said about Cliff?
Well, he's
back?
never. Yeah, he's. I don't want to have this seem. Okay, that's weird. Now there's two of me. That's. Oh. But he
I'm
really.
Trying to fix the screen while you talk.
Yeah, he has not had any success past Gears of War. Like, he needs Gears of War. That was the thing that made him, and I don't see that he's done anything since then. He's not really done anything. Like, nothing he's announced, nothing that he's worked on. Like, LawBreakers did not really interest me.
No, not at all. Not me either. And I think Jeff played it, and it wasn't all that great.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Cliff should just head back over to Epic and start work on Gears of War 5.
Yeah. I mean, Cliff has not, like, he had a lot of success with Epic, and that success has just disappeared.
It has not,
since he left.
Yeah, it's unfortunate too, because again, passionate guy, really puts his all into the games, and I mean, I follow him on Twitter, and you can see, like, in the tweets he's come out since this announcement, he's not happy about it. He's not just saying, oh well, we closed down the studio. He's still passionate about the projects that they were working on and some of the pitches and stuff like that. And I think you give that guy unlimited funds, and it would absolutely be something he'd continue working on. But I really think that he should head back to his roots and work on another Gears.
Yeah.
I know he probably won't do that. That's obviously probably something that's off the table. But I mean, I'm a fan of the Gears games that he did, and I think that he did a good job with those.
No, I agree. Now that he's shut down his studio, there's a great article that talks about some of the scrapped game ideas. And again, it's reading through these scrapped game ideas that I'm surprised he even shut Bosky down. Again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We have no idea what's going on business-wise with Bosky, you know. But some of the games they had, some of them sound so weird. First game was called Dragonflies, and we have a link, of course, in the show notes. You can see some of the concept art they had for these games. Yeah. Bleszinski describes Dragonflies as ninja/samurai in airships, riding dragons, fighting zombies with friends in a PvE feudal punk setting on floating islands.
That's a lot of stuff to put in one game.
Let's go through that again. Ninja samurais.
Okay. That doesn't really work from
airships, riding dragons, fighting zombies with friends in a player versus environment feudal punk setting on floating islands. Sounds really weird, but
that's
ambitious.
a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that he's jammed in there, and some of it doesn't even make sense when you say it together. I mean, ninja samurai is not really a possibility. They were a warring faction.
Come on, if you could
Japan.
be ninja or samurai, or you could be a ninja samurai.
You can't be a ninja samurai. It's not possible.
Well, that's true, because you can't be quiet in samurai outfits.
Well, not only, but like a samurai was the guard that worked for Japan, and the ninja were the people fighting the samurai.
Yes.
Like it was the two factions. You can't be two factions at once. That's like being a plant zombie.
Okay. A plant zombie. Okay. Okay, the next one is Donuts, which was, this one's a lot easier to take. Mario Kart on water with animals in VR. I'm in. I am in.
I would play that.
And it looks kind of cute. I mean, this definitely got a cute vibe to it. Finally, this one sounds amazing, and I'm like, just make this, Cliff. Just bring it back, Bosky. Make this game. This is why he
shared these ideas. He wants the ideas to start floating around, and somebody call him up. It's like, hey. That third one on your list, let's make it.
Here's the thing, though.
$1 billion.
The last two were both VR. So that's one reason, because we know VR's not doing super well. Finally, this is the writer's favorite, my favorite as well. It's called Dog Walkers. It is a multiplayer VR mech shooter. All right, that sounds cool already. VR mech shooter, but get this. Where players would each man different parts of a giant fighting vehicle.
Okay, so Pacific Rim, the VR game.
Yeah, right? Or Star Trek.
Yeah, why has somebody not done that? Yeah, why has somebody not done that already?
I don't know. This is like Star Trek Bridge Crew, but you are manning a different part of these huge walkers.
Yeah.
Now, these are four-legged walkers. That's why it's called Dog Walkers, because they basically look like huge mechanical dogs. But each person in the game, in VR, is manning a different part. That sounds really cool.
I call tail. I just want to be in the back, just moving that tail back and forth.
Imagine it's basically like being in an AT-AT walker, and one person's manning the guns, the other person has to control the legs or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But doesn't it sound cool?
That does sound that I would play. Yeah, I would play that
for sure. And speaking of playing things, Microsoft has done the most amazing thing. Microsoft has, they've always been about accessibility. And in recent years, a lot of companies have been trying to do accessible gamepads for those with disabilities.
Yeah.
So Microsoft has come out with Xbox's new adaptive controller, which is, it acts as a hub. It basically looks like, you described it best. Describe what it looks like to you.
So to me, I saw this the first time I saw this. It looks to me like the DJ Hero controller.
Basically, it looks like it's a big, huge rectangle that you can put on a table. Really big A and B buttons, like very big, so they're very easy to access. Then it has a big D-pad, and I think the Xbox button, and maybe a couple other buttons. But on the back, and this is just called the hub. This is the adaptive controller hub, made for people with disabilities, people who have accessibility issues playing video games. You know, even if you can't. Look, some people, you can use a controller in one hand, but their other hand doesn't work properly, so they can't use the other side of the controller. What this allows you to do is there's a lot of peripherals out there to allow for these gamers to play like with their feet, with their mouths, with their shoulders, like arms, legs, however they want to set it up. On the back of this adaptive controller are 19 3.5mm jack inputs, each specifically for every button on the controller. There's a jack for the A button, B, X, Y, left bumper, right bumper, triggers, thumb pads, like you name it. Every button on a controller is mapped to something on the back so that you can hook up third-party peripherals into this controller and basically create your own controller for those with disabilities. Yeah,
really,
amazing.
A neat idea, and again, pricing on this at $100.
$100 for this hub, right? And allowing for any number of setups, and also able to save those setups as profiles, so you can switch between them. Like maybe you have a different setup for a different game. You can save the setup for each game and recall them as you switch to each game. It's so amazing.
Yeah, mounts on a tripod if needed as well. I really love that they're making this. And obviously, this isn't for everybody. This isn't for but they're making something to try to open up the gaming opportunities for more people, which I really like.
Oh, absolutely. This definitely opens games for those who couldn't previously play games, and that's only better for everyone. It's only better for any gamer, because honestly, if you think about this, when you're playing online, the person behind the scenes is just a voice in your head. You don't see them, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who they are. All that matters is that they can play with you. And, and opening up that world to those who couldn't previously play is so amazing that they're doing this, I love it. It's awesome. There is a video, I don't know if it's in the link in the show notes,
I think it is,
of Phil Spencer talking about that very same thing I just talked about, where he was playing online Gears of War with someone online, having a really good time. Basically the kid said, I love playing Gears, can I add you to my friends list? I'm a big fan. And so he added them. He played Gears. Once they were finished playing Gears, he realized that they were like, I think he was down in San Francisco one time. He tells the story in the video, but he basically says that this kid was local, so he thought he'd go visit him.
Yeah.
It turns out this kid is in a wheelchair, right? And he's disabled. Yeah. And that's really what struck him was, the kid was saying that he loves playing online with people because when people see him in real life, all they see is the wheelchair. But when he's online with people playing, they see him as a fellow gamer. They don't see him as a wheelchair. And that's really what pushed this project forward in Spencer's eyes, like just bringing that ability to more people. Opening up the accessibility of gaming to people who couldn't play before, and I think it's fantastic. It's awesome.
No, I'm looking forward to seeing what this brings to the market.
And I hope to see more of this at E3. Actually, I'd like to see more of it sort of in action and all the different possibilities. There's again really great video out there. Go check it out, and it tells some great stories of people using it and how they use it and how easy it is to set up and customize. And I think, honestly, kudos to Xbox and Microsoft for bringing this thing to market, and for a reasonable price.
Yeah,
I mean that's not much more than a standard controller itself.
No, it's a pretty big piece that you're bringing to. I know I have seen online some of these customizable controllers that people with disabilities are forced to purchase at now in order to be able to make use of it. And these things are fully customizable thing, but they're like $400 or $500.
Yeah, exactly. So this is great. This is really great.
Yeah.
All right, we have a few minutes left.
All right.
June 29th, so after E3 this year, Nintendo's actually bringing back the NES Classic. You already got one. I don't care.
I got one. Do I really want to go through that process of trying to chase these things down for tons of people again?
All I can say is it's about time. I mean, the thing was huge. They stopped creating it, I think, or stopped producing it way too soon. Obviously, they wanted to generate the hype for the Super NES Mini. I just thought of this now. It makes me wonder. They bring this back to market now. Does this mean that the GameCube Mini, or the N64 Mini isn't really a reality? Because don't you think they'd want to keep that hype going for the N64 Mini?
Well, I mean, they're going to bring this out, people are going to buy it, and then once they start to run down of stock again, they'll be like, and here's this one.
Maybe.
There'll be more.
Well, this is June, and then the others usually release at the end of September for the Christmas rush.
Yeah, so this is there's some pocket money for them to buy coffees for the guys in the factory building the
but there's
N64 Mini.
There's been no rumors of the N64 Mini swirling lately.
No, but just because there's no rumors means nothing.
Well, I think these two were...
All right, listen. I'm starting a rumor right now.
Oh, yeah? What's your rumor?
It's coming out.
What is it?
October 25th. The N64 Mini, October 25th, 2018.
I think you're lying. I think it's September 29th.
No, October 25th.
All right. I'm going with September 28th.
You are wrong, sir.
All right. I could be.
Are you looking at a calendar to see what day that falls on?
Yes, that's a Friday.
That's cheating.
That's a Friday. Cheating. That's a Nintendo release date.
What day is mine? What day did I pick? It's like a Wednesday or something, probably.
I don't know.
Okay, let's see, hang on.
Real quick. Two things. E3 news. Borderlands 3 will not be at E3, according to Randy Pitchford. Although, and I want to believe that, he's correct. Borderlands 3 will not be at E3. But there's also speculations because he put Borderlands 3 in quotes.
Yeah, so it's maybe called Borderland or Border Worlds.
So is he correct in saying Borderlands 3 won't be at E3 because it's not called Borderlands 3? Or is he actually saying there will be no Borderlands at E3?
Yeah.
Because it's...
Well, we'll see
all the rumors are out there.
We'll see at E3, won't we?
Yeah, which is coming up soon, a couple of weeks away.
Yes.
I want to believe that it's all just a ploy to say Borderlands 3 won't be there because it's not called Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
That's what I want to believe.
All right, here's how we find out the truth. Easiest way. Walmart, can you do me a favor and mock up a Borderlands 3 box art? Just throw it up on your website.
Throw it up.
And then when he corrects it to cross out Borderlands 3 and writes Border Worlds, we'll know.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be the easiest way, right?
And Metro Exodus, which was announced, I want to say 2 years ago now.
Something like that.
It's been delayed. It's not coming out. 2 years?
I think it maybe was announced. They showed it off, I think, at the Microsoft conference last year.
It was. They've moved it to Q1 2019.
Imagine a place.
Oh, stupid videos. Autoplay. Seriously, stop autoplaying videos. It's so stupid. It was announced during E3 2017.
So last year. So it's okay. So it's early for Microsoft to delay something.
That's not Microsoft.
I know. It was at the Microsoft conference, so I've gotten into the habit of blaming Microsoft.
But I'm going to be honest. I honestly don't care about Metro Exodus. Even the teaser they showed us last year, I was like, not for me. I don't care.
It looks great. I'm actually a fan of the environment of the story of the world. But if I have to wait, I have to wait. I'm not really I'm not foaming at the mouth to play that. I'm not really super excited about it.
Yeah. So Larry online has asked, is he the only person completely unexcited about anything E3 2018 has to offer? I think the problem is, Larry, that we don't know what's coming. We honestly don't know what's going to be there at this point.
No, I mean this is the problem with like everything is so tight-lipped these days. Everything like they have to have their wow factor moment. So they need to keep they need to keep these things as secret as possible. As we get closer, we'll probably hear some more leaks and stuff like that. Stuff will sort of slowly stream out, but there's nothing that's been announced. I'm hoping for some new IPs that get me excited, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But really, I'm not like the other thing too with everything that's announced is you're like 3 years away before you're actually going to play it.
And I don't want to see that. I want to see everything announced at E3. I think we said this last year.
Release the next day.
Yes, okay. I think we said this last year. I think anything announced at E3 should be planned before the end of the year or at least spring of next year. That's it. Yeah. That's as far as it should go. Anything planned to be released by spring 2019, that's valid to be at E3. If it's past that, don't even talk about it.
Not allowed to talk about it. Don't say anything about it. Yeah, if it's not going to be out before the next E3,
don't even talk about it. Yeah, exactly.
Save it.
Exactly. Unless it's going to be delayed.
If you need some time to fill on your press conference, Sean and I'll come down and do a couple of shows or something.
Absolutely.
We'll take up like 10-15 minutes.
Sure can. We sure will. We'll do a live recording of the OMG Hour on stage.
Yep.
At anyone's stage. Anyone's. So just give us a call. Give us a call.
Happy to do it. We'll even get Jeff blinking in and out every once in a while.
Exactly. Right. He'll be there and then he'll disappear.
That experience, no extra charge.
Perfect. Excellent. And on that note, Jeff, why don't you oh wait, Jeff's not here. I don't know how we're supposed to end the show when Jeff is supposed to start it.
Well, then again, last week I just disconnected at this part. So
yeah, you did. So you start us off then.
All right, I'll read this to make up for what I didn't read last week. All right, watch us Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live on YouTube at youtube.com/OMGNexus. You can follow Jeff on Twitter at Sinix.
SINNIX.
Didn't want to spell it. All right, you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Second Place. Our gaming archaeologist is Mr. Sid Bolton. You can follow him at Sid Bolton. That's Sid with a Y. Show notes can be found on omgnexus.com. Like, subscribe, and comment.
And, of course, show notes are also right here below the video now. I, of course, am Ziantane. That is XIANTAYNE. You can follow the show on Twitter at the OMG Hour. And that is it for episode number 296 with the missing Jeff and all of the bleeps and bloops of him disappearing. I don't know what we're going to call this one. The Disappearing Act. I think it's the Disappearing Act. So, all right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. Maybe with Jeff?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Some of Jeff, maybe. Maybe we'll get. Maybe we'll try to work a little more Jeff into the system next time.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Bye, guys.
This has been an OMGNexus.com production.